Like I said in the title of this video, I'm going to share the 5 things I wish I knew before starting my Etsy store. Now, depending on where you are in your journey, these may or may not seem obvious to you, but they're all things that I had to learn the hard way. Welcome back to my current subscribers, and hello and welcome to the channel. For anyone that is new here, I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Cassie Johnson, and I've been a full-time Etsy seller since I quit my job in June of 2021. I started my Etsy and print-on-demand journey in 2020, and in the last 2.5 years of running my Etsy store, I've now sold over $700,000 in revenue on Etsy to date. Now, I started this YouTube channel to help make starting and scaling your Etsy and print-on-demand business more accessible to everyone. So if you like no fluff, step-by-step tutorials, then please take a moment to subscribe so you can watch more. But enough about me, let's jump into what you're here for. The first thing I wish I knew before starting my Etsy store is that your shop might get suspended right after you open it. Now, this is exactly what happened to me when I started in 2020. I opened my shop, I got my first 2 sales, one from my wonderful mother-in-law trying to support me, and then one actually from a stranger. But then my shop immediately got suspended. And this is because Etsy sometimes accidentally flags new sellers as spam. Now, back then, since it was the middle of a pandemic, it took me almost a month to get my store back. Nowadays, it will only take a few days. So if this happens to you and your store gets suspended, all you need to do is email Etsy, and it'll take them a few days and they'll reopen your shop. Now, they don't always email you back and let you know that they reopened your shop. So if this does happen, just try and log in once a day until it's back, and hopefully one day it's just magically back available to you. In the meantime, make sure that you are still working on your business and preparing. There's lots of research and designing you can do while your shop is suspended. So don't let this slow you down or scare you away if this happens to you, because it very easily could have stopped me in my tracks from ever achieving what I've done if I let it stop me. So I just wanted you all to know that that's a possibility, and it's normal and it's okay if it happens to you. This is also why it's better to open your shop before you're really ready to go, just in case something like this happens to you. There's another part in the process where they have to verify your bank account, which sometimes if you work with a larger bank happens immediately, but if you have something like a credit union, sometimes this can take days to even open your account in the first place. So if you haven't started your Etsy store yet, then here is your sign to go ahead and just open it today. What are you waiting for? Oh, you're waiting for the other 4 reasons in this video? Okay, I guess we'll go over those first. The second thing I wish I knew before starting my Etsy shop is that the sales on Etsy will ebb and flow. It's a lot like retail, where there's busy times of year and slow times of year. No matter what you do, there's going to be ups and downs in your business, especially in the beginning as you're building the foundation of your business for the first time. It can really take a few months to start getting those consistent sales. This is why I built my business as a general store. So what that means is, instead of just picking one niche, like say teacher shirts to sell in my store, I actually chose to sell hundreds of different niches in my store. So I sell a mix of evergreen niches, so these are things that could sell at any point throughout the year, as well as holidays, seasons, and appreciation days. Now, this has helped me build a really consistent income for my family, so that way I have popular products that sell all throughout the year, as well as some nice healthy spikes for the big holidays like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Halloween, and Christmas. But likely, no matter what you do your first year, it's hard to be fully prepared and ready in advance. You'll probably feel behind on a lot of holidays. You'll find out some holidays even existed after there are already a bunch of bestsellers. But trust me, once you get to your second year, it starts to feel a lot more consistent, reliable, and predictable, because then you have all the designs that you did the year prior, and then you get to add more of what worked last year this next year. So just have faith that I know it feels rocky in your first year, but it all really starts to compound once you get to your second year and third year, and you have to do a lot less new listings, but it is going to be a lot of work there in the beginning to get it to be more consistent. But even with that, Q4 at the end of the year is always going to be your biggest quarter likely, especially if you sell any holiday items. And throughout the year, times like January and June are going to be much slower than the rest of the year. So in those times where it's slow, take your time to prepare for what's coming up in the future instead of dwelling on why you're not getting any sales right now. You want to try and be ready for holidays about 8 to 12 weeks in advance for when those holidays come. So try to pay attention to what's coming up next and always live a little bit in the future. I do also have my niche calendar for sale down in the description below. I have over 40 different niches that sell seasonally throughout the year and when to have them listed by to help you get prepared. So that link will be down in the description for you. The third thing I wish I knew before starting my Etsy shop is that Etsy doesn't always tell you the very best advice. One big thing that you'll read on Etsy is that they don't want you to keyword stuff your titles. So a lot of listings on Etsy, you'll see the title will be gift for mom, Mother's Day gift, mom shirt, and it'll be really repetitive and have a lot of different keywords within it. Etsy says not to do that. They say only to really describe the item and who it's for. But if you do that advice, you won't do as well. So what I've really learned in my 2.5 years on Etsy is that the people you want to listen to are the people who are getting all of the sales. Most of what I've learned for my Etsy business is by looking at and replicating what the successful stores on Etsy are already doing. And all of the successful stores are using the full 140 characters for their titles. And that is what I've done in my shop and found success with. So your homework after watching this video is to go find 10 recently new and successful stores on Etsy selling in your niche or your product type. The way you can find these is look through the search results on Etsy, find a store that has a lot of reviews, go to the bottom of their Etsy shop to see how long they've been open. If it doesn't say how long they've been open, you can go to their reviews and look at the oldest one to get an idea of how long they've been open. Ideally, you'll make a list of 10 stores that have either 10,000 or 20,000 sales or more in their store in their first year or two. Then I want you to study these stores and see what they're doing to find success. What niches are they selling in? What type of pricing are they offering? What color shirts or what color items are they offering? Do they take returns and exchanges in their store? And really start to analyze what it took for them to be successful, how many listings they have, and so on. And then use this knowledge to better your own store and your own listings so you can find similar success. Now, I don't say that because I want you to copy anyone. I just think there's a lot of strategies to be learned by other successful people in your space. The fourth thing I wish I knew about Etsy before getting started is how you actually get ranked on the Etsy platform. When I first started, I thought you would just list items for sale, and as long as you had good designs, good mock-ups, and good SEO, that you could just magically show up on the first page of the search results after listing your item. But that's not how it works. The way that Etsy ranks your items is based on your listing's quality score. So when you first list something on Etsy, Etsy gives it a little boost in the search results to see how people interact with your listing. The more people that click your listing, favorite it, put it in their cart, and buy it, then the higher you're going to rank in the Etsy search results. Because Etsy is only there because it wants to make money. And the way that it makes money is by people buying products on their platform. So it would make sense that their algorithm wants to show the customer the thing they're most likely to buy. So you want to make your items something that someone is very likely to buy if they click on it. So it can be a slow climb to really start getting your listing ranked in the algorithm because people slowly start clicking it more, favoriting it more, purchasing it more, leaving more reviews. And after you've gotten so many clicks, so many purchases, and so many reviews, you'll slowly start to climb your way up to page 1. But this can take 6 weeks, 8 weeks for the whole process to happen. So it is important to remember that the sales on your listings can be very slow in the beginning, but after 8 weeks or 12 weeks, you can really start to gain traction and get consistent sales on these listings and eventually bestseller badges. The only listings that really pop off and sell super well right when you list them are going to be viral events. So things that happen during elections are a really good example of viral events that everyone's talking about, everyone's thinking about right now, and there's a ton of increased demand. Most things, there's not a super high spike of demand, so it is a slower climb up to the top of the search results. So this is why it's important to make sure your listings are optimized for conversions. You really want to try and get a good conversion rate, which just means that more people that click your listings are likely to buy. Now, a good conversion rate for the internet in general is anywhere from 1% to 3%. If you can get up to a 4% conversion rate on Etsy with shirts at least, you are doing really, really good. So that should give you a good goal to strive for. And I'm actually releasing a full video next week on tips on how to increase your conversion rate. And if you aren't already subscribed, then consider doing that now so you don't miss next week's video. And the fifth thing that I wish I knew before starting my Etsy shop is that it's not about what you like or how creative you are. You can love your designs and think they're great all you want, but unless someone is already looking for that item, then no one is going to buy it. The biggest benefit of using Etsy is that they bring millions of customers to the platform every single year. So you don't have to use social media, you don't have to run ads. They bring tons of organic traffic right to your door. You just have to find what people are already searching to buy on the platforms like Etsy, and then make your own unique, great item that's going to catch someone's attention, get them to click on it, and get them to buy it. So it can't be about what you like or what you want to buy, especially if you aren't someone who normally shops on Etsy. You may or may not be the normal Etsy customer. And so basing what you're making off of your own preferences can lead to a lot of disappointment. You can put your own twists on things, but it is important to stick to what you know is already working. I heard a great quote recently from 𝗗𝗓𝗧, "We are not trying to create demand, we are trying to channel it." This was a quote from his book, $100 Million Offers. It is a super great read to give you a better understanding of what makes for a good offer. So if you're looking for a good book, that is my recommendation for this month. Definitely a must read. Or if you don't love reading books, he does have an amazing YouTube channel as well. It can take some time to really start understanding what people are looking to buy and what's popular right now on Etsy. So your homework for this step is to go take screenshots of 20 to 30 best-selling designs in the niches or products that you're looking to sell. Now, I don't want you to copy any of these people, but I want you to start paying attention to what type of fonts they're using, what type of color palettes, what type of font combinations they're using, what type of graphics are they using, because likely there are some overarching things that they have in common, since there's particular trends that sell really well. Like this last year in 2022, the retro letters and retro graphics were selling really well. So if you can find a trend like that and get to it early with your niches, you can really be ahead of the curve and offer something that is unique and different, but just based on what is the overall trend that you're seeing on Etsy. Try combining multiple different aspects of the designs that different bestsellers have into your own unique version. This way, you're working off of things that are already proven to sell on Etsy, but you're combining them to something more unique that will help you better stand out in the search results. I hope these 5 insights help you have an easier and more enjoyable journey with your Etsy business. I do have my free 9-module mini course available down in the description that'll walk you through setting up your Etsy shop, connecting it to Printify, researching your first design, creating your first design, and also finalizing your very first Etsy listing. So that'll be in the description below for you if you are interested. I really hope that this video was helpful for you and saves you from a little pain. But if you started your Etsy journey and had different things that you wish you knew before getting started, please take a moment to comment them down below in the comments, because we rise by lifting others. If someone else can learn from your mistake, then you are putting good karma out into the world. So please share your insights. If there's anything you've gotten through or a hurdle that you've gotten over, it would be so helpful to the other new subscribers that we have here on our channel. And also, just a note, if you haven't seen my comments and messages recently, I do have some scammers that are trying to scam people on my channel. They're stealing my channel photo and pretending to be me in my comments. So if you see a comment from me, make sure the name is actually Cassie Johnson, and I will never ask you to private message me on WhatsApp or anything like it. So please stay safe. And as always, thank you so much for everyone who stays all the way until the ends of my videos. I appreciate you all so much for subscribing and supporting my channel. And because you stayed all the way until the end, I'll give you a last second little tip if you're watching this when I release it in January. And that is that the St. Patrick's Day niche is already starting to pop off. So if you haven't already gotten started on the St. Patrick's Day niche for this year, make sure you go create some great St. Patrick's Day designs this week so you can be early to that holiday and get some extra sales. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.